Hi, my name's David. I'm here with Motorenn and I'm in front of a 2024 Lamborghini Revuelto. And I want to share with you some of my thoughts about this vehicle in terms of how good of a car it is and how it might trend in today's market and in the future market. So kind of a mini buyer's guide to give you a little bit of our insight based off of how we've seen the used exotic market going. So I'm going to look at this from three perspectives. First, one, how does it look, appearance? Two, its overall experience and how does that compare against its peers? And then three, a little bit less so, but performance in terms of how much performance is with this vehicle. So we start first with appearance. I do think Lamborghini has really knocked it out of the park with the Revuelto. There are a couple of things I would say in terms of the body lines that look maybe slightly cartoonish, but overall I think it looks extremely good. It's highly stylized in a way that has a lot of presence. I think when you show up somewhere with the Revuelto, with the angularness of this vehicle, people know and understand this is something special. And especially once you open the iconic Lamborghini doors, you get that presence with this vehicle. I really like what they've done in terms of the front. It looks modern, it looks aggressive. Now if we come to the back, I think this is kind of the area where they've made the biggest change on the Revuelto versus the Aventador, in that it looks the most awesome on this car. They've made the engine completely exposed. Now modern engines are fairly weatherproofed, so you shouldn't be afraid of a little bit of rain. In reality, owners of these vehicles aren't going to take these in the rain. And in general, it probably does make sense to be a little bit protective of that. But it looks fantastic. You can see the engine cover, you can see the louvers, everything just kind of works in that regard. If we take a step back, of course, you do see that the DNA comes from the Aventador baseline. Lamborghini did not develop a fully new chassis. They evolved the Aventador chassis, and the overall shape is reminiscent of that. So as we step in the interior, continuing on the conversation about the aesthetics of this vehicle, I think Lamborghini did a really nice job of revising the interior. Again, you can see that the DNA harkens back to the Aventador. SVJ we have, and you can see that a lot of the structures are similar, but they've nicely updated. We have a lot of extra leather. We have this beautiful matte carbon fiber that's an option. The modernized infotainment system is fantastic, and I do like how, well, in terms of functionality, they've added some buttons on the steering wheel which get away from some of the touch screen issues that we have on the Huracan Evo. You also now have a passenger display, and the overall cockpit looks very, very handsome, very supercar-esque. Now, shifting gears, we look at the functionality of this car, and I think this is where Lamborghini really starts shining in this segment versus, again, what Ferrari has done in their modern hybrids. First of all, when we look at the overall infotainment system and the steering wheel, I do like the fact that there's actual buttons here. So on a twist of a physical button that feels tactile, that feels meaty, that feels real, I control this vehicle. One shift of the knob and this car's engine turns on, and that V12 roars to life. And mind you, in this price point, in this car, you have a naturally aspirated V12 as the heart of the machine. And now that I've turned that button on, it will stay on, unlike in the Ferrari systems that will cut out at certain points. So if I don't want to wake the neighbors up, I can leave it off. But if I want everybody to know that I'm in a Lamborghini Revuelto, one twist, and I have control, and I love that about this car. Front axle lift button is right here, aero controls are right here, and if I want to go back to full EV mode, I can push that. The engine's warming up right now, so it's going to take a while to shut back down, but I'm in control of this vehicle. One other thing, that you actually have buttons on the back of the steering wheel to control your volume, which again is one of those massive annoyances that I had with the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. You do have your touchscreen tablet. It's functional, it's reminiscent of the Evo touchscreen. It's nothing super special. It's fine, it works. But I think overall this is a very nice upgrade versus the Aventador, where you didn't have CarPlay, you didn't have Bluetooth. Even in the SVJ, you had to buy a dongle to utilize the Bluetooth functionality. So in terms of performance on this vehicle, look, we haven't taken this on the racetrack, but we've had a little bit of time on the roads around our dealership, and I got a sense of how this car drives versus some of the other Aventadors that we had in inventory as well. Ultimately, the biggest upgrade is going from that single clutch transmission to a dual clutch transmission that is very seamless and works so fantastically. You're no longer worried about burning the clutch, and you no longer have that clunkiness. So I think that's a massive upgrade in terms of straight line performance. It's there. You have way more horsepower. You have the hybrid system that gives you all-wheel drive performance. It just really, really works well. So I fully believe the information that this is going to overperform and outperform the Aventador and the Aventador SV and SVJ on track as well. Ultimately, performance-wise, in terms of both, again, the transmission and how this overall chassis feels, I think this thing is a slam dunk for Lamborghini. So taking all that into consideration, how well Lamborghini has designed this vehicle in terms of aesthetics, how functional it is, how nicely they've upgraded the functionality of this vehicle, and how that user experience is still fantastic, and the overall performance that you're getting for this car, I think the Lamborghini Revuelto will perform. in the next few years. I don't think it's going to underperform like some of the modern Ferrari hybrids have. So I do think this is a car that if you buy it, you can enjoy it, and you're not going to suffer that massive depreciation we're seeing in some of those other vehicles. In terms of upside, I don't necessarily know that this is going to be a major collector car that's going to magnify in value like we've seen with Ford GTs and Lexus LFAs. I do think there will be some special editions coming out on this vehicle that will be, well, ultimately massively priced and potentially more collectible. In general, though, this is a fantastic car. I really like what it is, and if you have the budget for it, it's a really cool car to add to your garage.